I have been getting a lot of comments on the channel regarding this Amazon partnership with Ripple. Everyone wants me to cover it, so I figured I would do a video regarding it. Obviously, listen, are we getting lied to? Are we getting misinformation regarding this? I'm sure that there's definitely a lot of people out there spreading misinformation with this. And I'm sure that there's definitely a lot of, posts regarding like how this is going to work and, speculation on, if Amazon is going to integrate XRP into their payment system, things like that. I want to go over this in depth because I do have a lot of information regarding this. This is not like a new thing. We've been hearing about an Amazon partnership for well over like 8 years now. And Amazon Web Services have been around in the crypto space for years and years and years. I remember a lot of projects actually during 2021 promoting their, partnered up with Amazon, even though that they were just using AWS cloud services. So this is not like a new thing. Obviously, it's been hyped up for years, but I do want to go over a few things here. So right off the rip, this is the post that caused a ton of, drama essentially and caused everyone to look into Ripple and Amazon working together. And we have here from Coin Bureau, AWS and Ripple to work on an XRP ledger upgrade. Amazon Web Services and Ripple are reportedly exploring Amazon Bedrock AI for the XRP ledger, itself. With this integration, the XRP ledger system logs could be analyzed in 2 to 3 minutes, down from days. So yeah, this is definitely a big one. It's great to see. Obviously, it's more improvements for the XRP ledger. Now, is this like a major partnership or anything like that? Not exactly. And we do even have over here from Wrath of Kahneman. He said, be careful. This is an ambiguous headline. Ripple is exploring Amazon products that will help them analyze the XRP ledger. However, Ripple is not installing it in or on the XRP ledger, nor could they. That would require a validator vote. It's news about a cool tool Ripple is using for their own purposes. And yeah, it is. Now, could there be some sort of major connection back to the XRP ledger through this? It's hard to say. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on exactly why I do think that this is a big deal or so. Because again, I do think that there's some connections back to what Ripple did offer in the past and how this could really, tie back to even the XRP ledger and XRP. Now, Bank XRP also did post this back in 2020. Like I said, this is not brand new news. They have been kind of integrating Amazon Web Services forever. I mean, almost everyone uses them for cloud storage because they are responsible for like well over 30% of the cloud computing services industry. But we have here Amazon AWS partner profile, Ripple, Amazon AWS cloud computing services. It is basically a cloud platform to rent web services. I believe this is only about Ripple and information on installation on Amazon AWS servers. Please don't hype this. And yeah, this was back in 2020. Everyone was starting to hype it up. It was just very interesting that everyone was looking at this the way that they are today, where it's like, oh, hey, look, Amazon is partnered up with Ripple, when, it's kind of like us going back in time. But regardless of that, this is an additional post from, of course, January 8th. And this is quoting Coin Bureau's post. This is from nfa.crypto. Amazon showcases Ripple on its AWS partner page. XRP mentioned twice. And yeah, it is on their page. If you actually go over here to Amazon Web Services, their official website, yes, you can see this full page. It's broken down. But I do think that this is outdated because, again, they're still using RippleNet. They're still talking about XRapid. They're still talking about, XVIA and XCurrent. Like almost all of this stuff kind of got replaced and repackaged into, specific things from Ripple. So this page is pretty outdated. And we already know that it is because it goes all the way back to 2020 and prior. So again, it's not like a huge deal. Now, if we're looking at this video clip, this is the video clip from a recent, this is basically a conference, if you will. This is from a Good Evening Crypto, and we have here breaking: Amazon Web Services and Ripple partner to explore Amazon Bedrock AI for the XRP ledger. With this integration, the XRP ledger system logs could be analyzed in a few minutes, down from several days. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse had hinted at this during his presentation. Are you bullish on XRP? So check it out.
Amazon today, last time I checked, could only support payouts in 19 different currencies. Amazon is, I think one of the $2 trillion companies, and yet Amazon, their marketplace, which is a huge piece of their business, they can only pay out in 19 currencies. And that is a hodgepodge of integrations around the world, ranging from India to China to the EU. Now, if you think about the implication of that to more tangibly a business, we have had conversations with other networks, other marketplaces like Uber. Uber knows that if they can pay their drivers more frequently, the retention of their drivers goes up. Uber has a big challenge in that people join to become drivers and then they churn out. That means that Uber has to go acquire new drivers. That's not a great thing. Now, some of you probably took a taxi here this morning. When you got out of the taxi, you either paid them in cash or you paid them with a credit card, which frankly would settle in a couple days. In contrast, when you're using Uber, the Uber drivers get paid every 2 weeks. Why is it they get paid every 2 weeks? How can we reduce the friction so every time you get out of an Uber, the Uber driver gets paid? Uber wants that to happen, and despite being obviously a major player, the ability, the friction even associated for someone like that is challenging. Our vision is to truly enable global payments such that you can plug in with one API, and whether you're seeking liquidity, whether you're seeking a payment into a payment network, whether you're seeing a payment to a bank, to reduce that friction such that it is real time and extremely low cost. By doing that, we think we can let RippleNet truly scale to serve a new set of customer demands. On demand and real time. Again, we are all witnessing a generation grow up that are sometimes pejoratively described as millennials. They expect real time. They've grown up with the expectation that this is going to be a real-time experience. They can click on their phone and have ice cream delivered in 30 minutes. I do love ice cream. Let's not criticize that. So we can make them low cost. We can truly get a dramatic reduction in the error rate such that there are not failures and deliver an elegant experience both to banks and to their customers.
So there you guys have it. And again, this is an older clip. This is from a previous Ripple swell, but the main thing that we are looking at here is how can this work in unison with even the XRP ledger or even XRP? Ultimately speaking, the thing that we are looking at here is the fact that Ripple is exploring AI-based technology to improve their internal systems and even their tech stack. Now, their tech stack does have XRP at the core. Could that, be exposed? I don't think that Ripple is going to do anything with the XRP ledger. Like they can't, integrate AI or, upgrade anything on the XRP ledger without having that validator vote. Wrath of Kahneman is 100% correct here. We would need a validator vote, which again, it's possible, but I would say that it's unlikely. I think that Ripple is trying to improve their system so that they can either one, explore new products or expand on their products or just improve the efficiency of their products. But this is still a very good thing. We have over here as well from Cryptos R Us. This is kind of the full breakdown of exactly how this partnership, if you will, I wouldn't even call it a partnership, but how this all works. So we have Ripple and AWS explore Amazon Bedrock AI for the XRP ledger monitoring. Recent reports indicate that Ripple and Amazon Web Services are testing Amazon Bedrock's generative AI to enhance operations on the XRP ledger. And again, it's more so to enhance operations inside of what Ripple's tech stack offers. Now, he does go on to mention, of course, the architecture behind the XRP ledger. We do not need to know this because, again, the main thing that we are looking at here is that this is between Ripple and AWS. We don't even need to focus on the XRP ledger here, but there could be at some point a time where Ripple expands an AI-based use case onto the XRP ledger. We know that the XRP ledger and XRP are at the core of everything that Ripple is doing, but this is, basically to improve Ripple. It's not to improve the XRP ledger. But Bedrock could automate pattern recognition, anomaly detection, and log interpretation, potentially reducing diagnostic times to 2 to 3 minutes. I think that this is beneficial for what Ripple offers, and I think that that's exactly what Ripple is trying to do here, especially with the fact that right now, with everything advancing around tokenization and payments and things like that, data is crucial. On top of data being crucial, we need to make sure that we are, having everything in place for automation as well. So I'm pretty sure at this point, what Ripple is trying to do is just upgrade their internal systems tech, and AWS is definitely a big key factor here. Now, I did make a post regarding this announcement, and I said here that this image comes to mind when I think about Ripple being an AWS partner. It's one from the Volante integration, where, again, Ripple at one point in time offered RippleNet Cloud. This is RippleNet Cloud. This goes all the way back to 2020. Again, RippleNet Cloud reaches new milestones, signs first bank customer, And again, this is basically exactly what you would assume it to be. It's, RippleNet in the cloud. Now through Volante, if you actually looked at this image, this is Ripple in the cloud. Hence, you have the cloud icon, you have Ripple, and this is all through Ripple Connect. Now, this is an older image as well, because again, we know that Ripple Connect isn't really a thing anymore. But within this, I did say, how this was the first bank. There was also 24 banks at that time, because yes, if we go up here, they do say that there's nearly 24 financial institutions already running on RippleNet Cloud. But within this, I said, considering AWS powers the largest share of the cloud hosting market, 30 to 31%, imagine how crazy it would be to have a RippleNet Cloud integration today through AWS. This would allow any institution and or enterprise to use Ripple products directly through the AWS cloud infrastructure. There are definitely other types of use cases too, like for example, AI capability improvements for the XRP ledger, not to mention the efficiencies Ripple gains from AWS cloud too. Now, I do think that AI capability improvements for the XRP ledger, that's going to be coming through developers. And there's a lot of devs building on the XRP ledger right now. We have amendments in place as well. I just think that AI right now is a little bit too early for, some of these networks to have, major improvements on. But I do think that at some point in the near future, probably within like the next year or two, I would argue, full-on integration with AI tech and blockchain is going to be a much bigger topic, and we will start to see automation being tapped in. The main thing that we are focused on here is the fact that automation combined with, tokenization, digital assets, streamlined payments, that's the future of pretty much finance, where you have everything fully automated. That's where you have 24/7, 365 stock trades and things like that getting fully automated through a system. I mean, we already know that BlackRock has Aladdin. It's a fully automated AI-based trading platform. So this is not like a brand new thing. But the good thing about Amazon Web Services is that they are exploring crypto and blockchain in a big way. We know that they already have financial services, crypto, and blockchain solutions in the AWS marketplace. And of course, yes, the XRP Ledger node server is one of them. You could learn more about this. You could really kind of see it. But this page was removed. I tried to look into it and read about it, but it seems as though like this side of AWS is kind of on the back burner. It kind of feels as if they completely removed a lot of this stuff. Very similar to like they have other Ripple, documents on their website that got fully removed. But it's hard to say exactly why that is, or maybe some of the stuff is just outdated. Like I don't even know if Dragon Chain is still a thing. I haven't even looked into it that much, but we do know that they have an Ethereum full node as well. If you click this, this also takes you to this side of their site. I do know that the XRP Ledger node that got posted from Bank XRP as well, because this was back in, again, 2020. This is what it looks like. And you can see the full breakdown of it. But again, I just don't think that there's like a lot to go off of here. Like I don't think that Amazon is integrating XRP into their system or anything like that. But at one point in time in the future, I do believe that Amazon will be fully running on blockchain rails. I mean, that's inevitable in my opinion. Is XRP going to be that rail? I don't know. I would argue that it's probably going to be a multi-chain initiative, but everyone is kind of hyping this up. And I do think that a lot of XRP holders are getting lied to regarding this Amazon partnership. I don't think that it's a full-on partnership. I think that Ripple is using AWS, tech. I mean, almost every player in the enterprise side and even the institutional side uses AWS cloud computing. But I do think that, improving the internal system base through, the Bedrock AI, I think that that's great for what Ripple is trying to do. And pretty much improving their internal system is a very good thing as well for even XRP and the XRP Ledger, because we know all of those acquisitions, we do need much more efficient tech to, power a lot of these acquisitions. So that's pretty much what Ripple is focused on here. So we are seeing a major upgrade for the Ripple-based tech stack. XRP is at the core of it. So, hey, great for the tech stack. It's essentially great for XRP as well, because it means that they can target maybe even higher scale use cases, automated use cases, things like that. So I'm very excited about this. I think that it's great, but for XRP, there's really not a lot of weight behind this for XRP and the XRP holders. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video.